And Marc Thiessen is a Fox News contributor, joins us on one of the things that I put up on the board for everybody. This is call for number one. Iowa State Fair headlines, and they are Trump dominant. That the clouded DeSantis, you see that in the headlines, overshadows DeSantis, and defying customs and clashing with DeSantis. So in a way, DeSantis wanted to make this look like a two-man race, and the headlines out of Iowa sort of look like that, Mark.
Yeah, well, first of all, if you look at all those people on the board that Bill just had, none of them won the nomination and none of them became president. So the people who ended up winning the Iowa caucuses. So, there's that part of the history as well. Look, if the Iowa caucuses were held today, Donald Trump would win. But if the Iowa caucuses were held today, Iowa voters would be very surprised because they're not scheduled until January. There's 5 months here. You haven't even had the first debate going forward. And, Donald Trump has 44% of the vote in the Iowa caucus in Iowa right now. That means that 56% of Republicans want somebody else. In New Hampshire, he's got 42% in the RCP average. That means 58% of Republicans want somebody else. So this thing is fluid. A lot can happen. The reality is right now, he's winning because no one has been able to consolidate the non-Trump vote. But there's a lot of time between now and then, and there are debates. Sure. We're going to have our debate next week, and there are going to be other debates. And so this thing can change a lot.
Let me rifle through a few things here. Sarah, there's a plane that flew overhead while Ron DeSantis was flipping burgers or whatever they were doing. Before Trump's plane circled overhead, this is what that plane said. Be likable, Ron. Clearly a shot from Trump's team. They were creative. And Alexis McAdams asked him about that. Watch this.
Do you think you're a likable candidate?
I think that's a narrative, but when you have Trump doing that, he's got so many people that would never vote for him, and I've seen that in Florida. They want a leader. They want somebody that's going to be in it for them, and our candidacy is really about the American people reversing the decline of the country. It's not about me. It's about them.
Here's what I think. I mean, all that is going to be forgotten in about, what, Dana, 9 days? If DeSantis makes his mark in that debate, he's going to have some momentum there in Iowa.
It's huge. It all depends on how he performs and how other candidates perform. Somebody else could have a great debate night and surge out of that debate and start getting some support. That debate will be the first time that Republican primary voters are really taking a serious look at these guys and having a chance to judge them on how they perform. But also keep this in mind: the Republican primary electorate is in three buckets, right? There's about a quarter of the electorate who will not support Trump no matter what in the primaries. There's a quarter of the electorate who are hard MAGA, who say they are only considering Trump. And polls show that about 50% of voters in the Republican primary they're considering Trump, they're considering other candidates. So that means 75% of the electorate's up for grabs and persuadable. It's just a matter of whether somebody else can persuade them that they're the right candidate to push Trump out.
Well, it's going to be a wild few months. Yeah. And so we get to the Iowa caucuses, and it was fun to have Alexis McAdams there. She did a great job on the ground for us, meeting all the folks. So thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.